If you're a maintenance supervisor for a commercial property, you've had to deal with everything from leaky faucets to flickering light bulbs. But nothing's worse than that ancient boiler that's lived in the building since the day it was built, 50 years ago. It's enough to make anyone lose their cool. That's where Grainger comes in. With industrial-grade products and dependable fast delivery, Grainger can help with any challenge, from worn-out components to everyday necessities. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
If you're a facilities manager at a university, you know students rely on the cafeteria for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and the occasional late-night snack. So when a dishwasher breaks down and dirty plates pile up, the mess hall can turn messy in the blink of an eye. Enter Grainger. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast delivery, the product you need now is never far away. So you can turn that dishwasher back into a lean, clean washing machine. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
It's the Opperman Report. Join digital forensic investigator and PI Ed Opperman for an in-depth discussion of conspiracy theories, strategy of New World Order resistance, high-profile court cases in the news, and interviews with expert guests and authors on these topics and more. It's the Opperman Report. And now, here is investigator Ed Opperman.
Okay, welcome to the Opperman Report. I'm your host, Private Investigator Ed Opperman. You can find me at Opperman Investigations and Digital Forensic Consulting. You can contact me through my email, oppermaninvestigations@gmail.com. If you like our show, be sure to check out our Patreon. We put up 8 new hours of content on Patreon each month, but also do a lot of free stuff, too. I just found the criminal records of Lauren Boebert, the Colorado gun-toting House Representatives over there. And our archive is always free. You can go to Spreaker.com, get our archives, sign up there for free. There's a chat room, and you get an email notification anytime I put up new content. I do a live show, a solo show, every Friday night. Our guest today is one of the most patient men in show business, Larry Garrison. Okay, he's been around a long time. Written several books, Aruba, The Tragic Untold Story of Natalie Holloway and the Corruption in Paradise. Another book is Breaking into Acting for Dummies, that he's going to rewrite the whole thing and re-release it because of all the changes that have gone on in Hollywood with the remote auditions and stuff. The NewsBreaker, a behind-the-scenes look at the news media and never-before-told stories, details, and some of the decade's biggest stories. Larry's a great storyteller. We've been talking off there for longer than I'd like to admit. Mr. Larry Garrison, are you there?
Yes, I am. Hi.
Thank you so much for coming on the show. Tell the audience, who is Larry Garrison?
Geez, I'd like to find out. I'm still searching. Well, I'm president of Silver Creek Entertainment. I produce film and TV. I've been a journalist for over 30 years. I've acted in film and TV, and I'm still doing that. Of course, as you mentioned, I'm an author. The Aruba book was written with Dave Holloway and R. Stephanie Good. I don't want to take anything away from there. And the Breaking into Acting to Dummies is being completed right now. We just finished it. Wallace Wang, who wrote the original one with me, has rewritten it with me, and we're very, very excited because the industry has changed so much, and that's going to be coming out soon. But besides producing film and TV, I'm a work-for-hire author, and I also do PR for people at times. It all comes together. It's all one thing, really, and I love it. It's, as I said to you before, it's like eating one potato chip. I'm a rebel journalist that loves telling the truth.
Yeah, and I got to tell the audience, too, Larry Garrison is no diva, okay? He agreed to come on the show with me here. I was late, okay? Then we had trouble with technical problems, and the guy was a saint, very patient with me. Larry Garrison, thank you very much.
Oh, my pleasure.
Now, in this book, okay, The NewsBreaker, there's some bullet points. Michael Schiavo asking price for the story surrounding Terry Schiavo's death. What's the story with that?
Oh, geez, that was so long ago. If you want to cover stories in the book that is, oh my God, for your viewers, the Aruba story is something that I think is the never-ending story. Well, first and foremost, it's for both Dave and Beth Holloway. I wouldn't wish it on anyone. I got involved with it because one of my daughters said to me, "Daddy, if I ever disappear, please don't stop looking for me." In my opinion, and it's just my opinion, Joran van der Sloot and the other boys, I feel, did something that, in my eyes, was horrendous. Most definitely, the exciting part about this story is that Joran van der Sloot's in a jail supposedly till 2038 in Peru. He was planning an escape, and I can't say who, but somebody called me and told me that he had a computer and was selling candy in jail and that he was going to escape. And I was blessed enough to get inside information to work with the FBI out of Los Angeles and Ventura County to stop him from breaking out. Now, just recently I read that there was something going on in prison with drugs where he may be staying there longer. We were hoping that he would be extradited to the United States because he had asked the family for money, which the FBI paid, and bottom line, he's supposed to be extradited for extortion. So it's a horrible story. Without ego, I've done over 1,000 stories over the years. I produced segments of Extra. I worked with ABC News Good Morning America in 2020, from the Robert Blake story to Michael Durant to Kaylee Anthony to Sunday Times that you mentioned you want to talk about, Behind the Oval Office, the rights to General Thomas P. Stafford, the commander of the moon landing. I did the Oklahoma bombing with Timothy McVeigh and Terry Nichols. I could go on and on. But, when you're on the inside and you hear the truth and you want to come out with information, I believe as a journalist there's two sides to every story. Most important, the truth always has to come out. And believe me, it's been frustrating when I've been told that I can't tell the truth. But that's show business.
This kid van der Sloot, how was he able politically to turn the whole country of Aruba on their ear and just do whatever he wanted?
Well, his father was a judge. His father subsequently died of a heart attack, probably from all the aggravation he went through with urine. But in actuality, I think money and power played a large part of it. And I had an experience with Joran van der Sloot where, out of greed, he wanted me to do a movie and a book. And prior to that, I had put Scott Peterson, the one with Lacey, there. I did both Peterson stories, the cop and the one with Lacey. And Scott Peterson, who was convicted of murdering his wife and baby, went on Good Morning America with Diane Sawyer. Diane, to me, was not only a good friend, but she was the Walter Cronkite of my generation recently, where just a phenomenal journalist. Diane was incredible and would give me a lot of stories. And she had Scott Peterson go on Good Morning America, and he slipped up, and that was, I think, attributed to his conviction. So I wanted to do the same thing. I wanted to get Joran Vandersloot on Good Morning America. And I must admit, I alluded to the fact that I would possibly do a movie and a book, and I got him to fly to New York. Dave Holloway, who's a wonderful human being, told his wife, his ex-wife, Beth, that Joran was flying to New York, and Beth had him served on the plane. So I met Joran at the Waldorf in a room where he was irate. I'm lucky to be alive. He's a big guy. And he thought I set him up to be served, which was not the truth. But he was guarded when he went on Good Morning America, and it was a shame. It would have been nice. It'd be nice for the family if they knew where Natalie is.
Is that when he was served by Bo Dietl and Bo filmed the whole thing, cursing at him?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Boy, Bo's name came up twice today.
Yeah.
Okay. Where do you say money and power? Where did all the money come from to make this kid so powerful? And besides the dad being a judge, was the dad up to stuff too?
Well, if you ask me my opinion,
Yeah.
I can only give you an opinion. I think that he was involved with trafficking. There was allusions to that. You know, I can't prove it, and I don't want to. It's just my opinion. I'm sure they were involved with drugs. And his father was a judge.
Right.
So be it.
You have something in there, too, about the jurors who were persuaded to acquit Michael Jackson?
Yes. I had Ellie Cook, who is a senior. I hope Ellie is still with us. And physically what happened was the night that the jurors were to come out with a verdict, there was a party that they were all invited to. And she was the only one, or one of the only ones, who wanted to convict him. Now, I know there are a lot of Michael Jackson fans, so I'm just telling you, Ellie Cook was a woman, in my opinion, who would shoot straight from the hip. She was lovely. She was an heir to the Schick family, I think. And she was like a grandma. I adored her. And all I can tell you is she was told by some of the jurors, do you want to die here? Just end this, and that's it. And she even had a T-shirt that read, "Don't shake your finger at me." She was a character, and I believe everything that she told me.
You believe she was threatened? They said, do you want to die here?
Yeah, in other words, she was elderly, and they wanted to go home to their families.
Gotcha.
And she wasn't physically threatened. She was emotionally threatened that she would spend a long time there. And that was it. And then to hear that there was a party that all the jurors were invited to after the verdict, but it was before the verdict that they knew about it.
Wow.
That, to me, didn't seat right. Now, I love Michael's music. I love Michael's talent. I have dealt with his family on other things, and they're lovely. I've spoken to Paris and Tito, and all I can tell you is it's, Hollywood.
Yeah. You also mentioned here in the book, and this is one of the reasons people turned me on to you, was about the Pentagon, the on 9/11. What information do you have on that?
Okay, well, the Pentagon and Flight 800, I have to be very, very careful about right now, only because I'm in discussions about possibly doing a TV series or feature based on my life. Besides other things, they call me, the title of my book, The NewsBreaker. As a journalist, as you may know, and this may happen with you, a lot of times people will come to you. We call them deep throats, and they will give you information. With the Pentagon, I got a video that I wish I had kept. But the video was given to a major network. And the video that I viewed showed that a plane did not go into the Pentagon, in my opinion. Yes, I read every document that's out there, from the wing shearing off. What puzzled me as a journalist, what I questioned, was how a plane could fly off the ground so low at such a low speed and make that hole that was smaller than the plane. Yes, there are explanations for it, but what bothers me is that all the cameras were out, that they had nothing. They, as far as I know to this date, they had no documentation. When I gave the video to a major journalist, I won't mention who, they showed it to the White House. And I was told, it was explained to me that no one wanted this scene because they thought that we would be vulnerable as a nation. And to me, you know, I think the nation has the right, we the people have the right to know the truth, no matter what, good, bad, or indifferent. I think we can handle it. And it's just a shame that did not come out.
And who was in the White House when this was shown to the White House?
I don't remember. I didn't show it to them. I forgot which administration it was. I think now Flight 800 was 1996, and this was 9/11. Right. So wasn't it Bush that was in the White House?
Yeah, but I don't know how many years after 9/11 that how long did you, after 9/11 did you get the video?
Oh, no, we got it pretty much. There were so many things that I've been told that when I go to sleep at night, I'd like the truth to come out. And hopefully it will in my series if the series is done. But look, you've been on the inside of many crime stories, and that's why I agreed to do this with you. Only because I feel that you understand the frustrations that journalists do go through, the ones that want to be a rebel journalist or tell the truth. It's a shame. It's a shame that a lot of things have not come out, and maybe they will 100 years from now. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, Larry, what do you think you saw in that video?
If the video was not doctored, which it looked like it wasn't, it looked like a missile. It didn't look like an airplane. And the only thing as a journalist, there's two sides to every story, and then there's the truth. And all I wanted was the truth. All I wanted was to be able to show that and let the American public decide for themselves. I don't know.
No, Larry.
Honestly,
were you handed a VHS tape, or was it sent to you like as a file over the computer?
it wound up in my mailbox. Someone was smart enough to find me and put it in my mailbox. I had no idea who this person was. And a lot of times that happens.
Yeah.
A lot of times I will get a call. Look, I did the Blake story. I'm living with right now Lee Bonnie Bakley's diary. A diary. And, you know, you have a lot of things to say. Well, now I may have the opportunity to bring many of these things out. All I can say to you is it's frustrating.
Yeah.
And you must know that.
Now, you mentioned Flight TWA 800. And once again,
yes.
in the small world department, my best friend, was the best man at my wedding, I was the best man at his wedding, was NYPD Harbor Aviation, the scuba cops, NYPD scuba cops. And they were out there bringing up all the debris, recovering the salvage. And their opinion was that it was a missile. What information do you have?
Well, I got a call from a deep throat who said that Pierre Salinger, who was part of the Kennedy administration, had information, and I was lucky enough to be able to speak to him and speak to other people. And I'm from Long Island originally, New York. I grew up in Long Beach, New York, and then later lived in Center Island, Oyster Bay. But I was fascinated with the story, and I put myself on the line because with everything that had been given to me, in my opinion, your friend was correct that it was shot down by the Navy. In fact, I don't know this on a positive level, but I thought the Navy finally admitted to shooting it down. Did they?
No, I don't think so, no.
No?
I don't think so.
Well,
not that I know. Oh, so if you covered that story, did you hear that story, too, about the guy who showed up and was impersonating, like, the Army Corps of Engineers or something like that? And are you familiar with that story?
Well, is that the one who claimed to have bits of airplanes and other things? See, you don't know. What's funny is, and this is atypical for all the news magazines show that you see on TV, it's like playing telephone. You have somebody on the inside, and we call it a get. If I had the ability over a lot of people to get stories, because I also had the ability to, being president of Silver Creek Entertainment, to possibly bring it to a movie or a book. And I also ensured my people that I would protect them, because if a major network took a story from me and for any reason they misrepresented that story, they would not get the next one. So I would have a modicum of control to make sure that the true story would happen. That didn't always happen, but I'd like to believe that I was there for my people more so than other people. But it's like playing telephone. You don't know. I don't understand when I was on the inside of, let's say, Aruba, dealing with the family, dealing from almost day one on the story, and then all of a sudden you'd see a network, I won't mention the network, having a magazine, Nancy Grace type reporter who was not on the inside with me all of a sudden explaining the story to the public. And you know, I understand. I would hope that someone would pick up the phone and call me and say, "Hey, is this correct? Did this really happen?" But again, Ed, you know what it's like out there.
Well, Larry, how about even worse? Like, you'll be talking about something on Facebook, and some armchair expert will go, "Larry, this is what really happened in Aruba. Let me tell you." You just want to say, "This is my case." What are you talking about? I wrote the book.
It's frustrating,
Yeah.
and you know, you don't want to antagonize people. Everybody has the right to have their own interpretation and to see it where it is. I'll give you a perfect example. The Kaylee Anthony story. That's the only time I have to admit that I was duped. The family told me that Kaylee was kidnapped, and please help find Kaylee. I still have T-shirts from back then, and I believed them because I had just come off doing the Aruba story and whatnot. And then, to be perfectly honest, when the mother called me late at night one night, and she, in my opinion, was taking, and that's my opinion, Valium, because she told me that, but I don't blame her with all that she and her husband had gone through. But she had said to me that they didn't tell the truth to the FBI.
Well, I think you're talking about the Haley Cummings case.
No, the Kaylee Anthony.
Was that Casey Anthony?
The little girl in Florida. I'm sorry. Kaylee Anthony, the mother. Casey Anthony, the little girl.
Yeah, but she wasn't married. Casey Anthony wasn't married. She was the one that had the father who was a cop that she accused.
No, the grandma came to me.
Oh, gotcha.
With the grandpa.
Gotcha. Okay, gotcha.
Okay, grandma and grandpa came to me and hired me to help find Kaylee because they said she was kidnapped. I believed it. I went on national TV saying, "Help, please don't stop looking for her." It was, to me, another Aruba story, when in actuality, we all know the truth now. And whatever happened, they were not upfront with me, and it was sad that I was used as a tool to try and change what really happened. And, you know, I'm a human. Yeah. And I wanted to help, and that was sad. But you get emotionally involved with some of these stories. It's so easy to, when you're on the inside, and you want to help, and you want to tell the truth, and it's very frustrating.
Now, Larry, you produced a movie with Mary Tyler Moore, Like Mother, Like Son, The Strange Story of Sante and Kenny Kimes. Fascinating story.
Right.
How did you get involved in that?
Well, Kent Walker, who actually co-authored the book with me, the book won the Edgar Allan Poe Award for True Crime. Son of the Grifter was the book. And Kent is and was the good son. And I called him because I saw the story as it was. It was, oh my God. And, you know, now, for the viewers, when you tell a story and someone goes, oh my God, it becomes an oh my God story, and you know automatically that the public's going to want to hear it. Well, this was one of them. And I contacted Kent, and he was lovely. And he was living out of San Diego, and I was very gracious to him. I didn't give him the bum's rush like everybody else was. And I said, Kent, if and when you want to do something, a movie, a book, or anything else, call me. And subsequently, he called me. And he gave me the truth, and he was wonderful to work with. And the whole story evolved while we were working on it. And it was honestly an oh my God story. Now, prior to that, in my career, I had offices with Dick Clark. I also had offices at MTM, Mary Tyler Moore Productions. And I was always a big fan of Mary. And I was partners with Scott Brazil. We were partners on A Handshake for 15 years. He was an executive producer, writer, director, Hill Street Blues, The Shield, incredible human being. As I just said, we were partners on A Handshake for 15 years. We never had anything written. And Scott had gone to school for journalism. And we would see our stories being, and I know I'm jumping a little bit, but it'll come back to Son of the Grifter. We would see our stories being ruined in the news. And he said to me, Larry, look, we produce. Why don't you produce the news stories? So I started doing that, and it just went along with everything that Scott and I did. Now, Son of the Grifter, as we went on, it became, oh my God, incredible. And Mary Tyler Moore was phenomenal playing, and to work with the Gene Stapleton. I mean, the cast was wonderful. It was a thrill to do it. The truth came out, and it was a true grifter story.
I know for a period there, the Sun took a hostage, right, of a news reporter. How did he wind up? Is he alive today?
As far as I know, he's still in jail. Sante, I was told, passed away. I haven't spoken to Kent in quite a while. I'm hoping he's getting on with his life now and whatnot. He was a great father, wonderful human being, and honestly, he was the good son. And to show it through his perspective was very encouraging. It was inspirational for people that you may come from bad and still turn out to be good.
Well, I've seen the movie. The movie's excellent. And like you said, Gene Stapleton and Mary Tyler Moore, the cast is excellent. So people should check that out. Like Mother, Like Son, The Strange Story of Sante and Kenny Kimes, con artist woman, and crazy. They took people's houses. Just went in there, signed the deed over, just took the deed. Tell us the story, Larry, about Michael Durant. That's a fascinating story.
Well, Michael Durant was shot down over Somalia. And I got a call one day from Lori Durant, who was his wife, asking me to help her get him out of Somalia. He was being held in captivity. And I got Michael's picture. She had a picture of him injured, and I got it on the cover of Time magazine. And because the White House at that point had basically given up hope of getting him out. And on the cover of Time magazine, which is hanging on my wall right now in my office, it said, "Special report. What in the world are we doing?" And it had Michael's picture on the front with the injuries on his face. And that humiliated the White House. And they got him out. Subsequently, he gave me his dog tag, his POW bracelet, and his beret, which was lovely, and I did a little shadow box type thing. And they made Black Hawk Down off of Michael's life.
Well, Larry,
he should have got.
When you watch the movie, it seems like they rescued him a couple of days later. No?
Yeah. Well. Yeah, that's Hollywood. What can I tell you? But all I can say is that it's nice to be able to believe that maybe as a journalist you can make a difference in a person's life. I'd like to hope that I did. He should have gotten the Congressional Medal of Honor. He didn't. At that time, I don't know what's transpired since then, but a heck of a story. Just unbelievable.
And he certainly seems to think that you're responsible for saving his life, so you have that. You mentioned off the air when we were talking different topics you wanted to discuss. Dick Morris?
Dick Morris... Well, here's a cute story. I had dealt with Bill Clinton, and he was lovely. And I was able to, during the time with Monica Lewinsky and everything else, I was involved speaking to Bill, and I got a call one night, and I was at dinner, and my kids were there, and it was Bill. And he knew that Dick was doing Behind the Oval Office, and he was calling me about the book and whatnot. And being a New Yorker with a warped sense of humor, while we're eating dinner, I said to one of my daughters, "Please be quiet, it's the president." And she looked at me and said, Sure, Daddy. And he went, "Oh, I have one at home like that." And so, kidding around, I said to him, "Well, if you want the book to go a certain way, it's going to cost you the shirt off your back." And he laughed and hung up. And I went, "Oh my God, what did I just do?" The next day, and I'm facing it right next to Black Hawk Down, I have another shadow box with Behind the Oval Office, the book in it, with a shirt that was Bill Clinton's shirt. Now, it had a stain on it, and stupidly I washed it.
Oh, my God.
But he sent me that and a pen from the White House, and he gave me a picture that says, "To Larry Garrison." It was printed. I couldn't believe he had it done so fast. Best wishes, and it's autographed. And it was funny. Dick came out here and spent an evening with me in Santa Monica. We went out to eat, and he was lovely. And we discussed the book and what he was doing. I had spoken to his wife, who I think she was an attorney at the time. And it was just a thrill for him to be able to open up and tell me certain things that were going on. And, it's been an incredible ride.
Yeah. You mentioned, too, Melvin Belli.
Mel Belli. I have a friend who's a publicist. His name's Ed Losey. And Ed was very good friends with Melvin Belli, and I was able to get the rights to his life. I wanted to do a Perry Mason type series, which ironically, recently they're doing Perry Mason again, a detective show. But Mel was a colorful character. And he taught me that visuals are everything. So anytime I'd ever go in for a pitch to sell a movie, I would go in with photographs because I love true stories. And he actually gave me a picture that I have in my office of him. He represented Jack Ruby. And I remember him telling me a story that Jack Ruby, when he went into the police station and shot Lee Harvey Oswald, he had a defense that he left his dog in the car.
Right. And
he loved his dog that much, and they figured that the jury would be dog lovers also because they picked them that it wasn't a premeditated murder because he would have never left his dog, and knowing that he could get caught and for killing a man. And wild. It was just wild.
Did Belli share any other thoughts about the Kennedy assassination with you?
He did. I have to be very careful about that. I have pictures and whatnot, and that might be in my series. But he was so colorful. He was such a bright man, an incredible salesman. And I was going to do this series, and his children got him because he became, even though I had legal documents owning the series, they convoluted the rights and got him to sign the rights. And some of the stories that I've had, I have the 94-year-old widow of Richard Hauptman, who went to the electric chair for the kidnap murder of Lindbergh's baby.
Oh, wow.
And Robert Bryan, an attorney from San Francisco, who to me is like one of the top attorneys in the nation, in the world. He's incredible. Introduced me to Anna Hauptman, and they painted a picture of Richard Hauptman, that he was a thief. And they called him Bruno because of Germany at that time. It would look good against him. I have pictures of him in the electric chair, and I have pictures of them that it was just, he was railroaded. He was innocent, in my opinion. And there's more to that story also.
Well, we have a couple of minutes. Why do you think he was innocent? And who do you think did it?
That's a tough question. Lindbergh was an American hero.
Right.
I heard that, and I don't know if this was true or not, but you're asking me, so I'll tell you. I heard that his child was an embarrassment because the child had some disabilities. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what I was told. All I can say to you is, in my heart, Anna went to a grave knowing that her husband was innocent. She was wonderful. And from everything, they stored a trunk in their garage from Isidore Fish. They needed money, and they rented out part of the garage. Fish died, I think that's what his name was, and they went into the trunk to see what was in there, and there was money in there. And it was obviously some of the money from the kidnapping, or the ransom money, or whatever. And Richard went and spent it at a gas station and wound up in the electric chair. And that happens. That happens all the time. So
I tell you, I would love to just poke around in your office and just look at all your stuff. I gotta sneak in there somehow. I tell you, you keep hearing that. I got pictures. I got the box. Oh my God, Larry Garrison. We only got about 4 minutes left. What would you like to leave us with? What a life.
Well, the truth is really important. And, the changing times with journalism, I don't believe in fake news. I do believe that people pick things for ratings. I like inspirational stories. That's why from day one I always did true stories. And the people that I've worked with, I still watch ABC News. David Muir is incredible. And I've never, in all the years that I worked with ABC News, I've never seen them lie on any of my stories. They've always told the truth. And, with politics out there, people like to say different things or change things. I do agree that some people have gone overboard and taken sides with politics where it should be more neutral. I've always been that way. I don't ever want, I'm not in position to judge another human being. And it's important to tell the truth. And the nice part about my life right now is that I'm still writing books. And most important, I enjoy acting in film and TV. I studied with Lee Strasberg for many, many years. And family. Family is everything to me. And I really appreciate you giving me this time, and I hope that anybody who's listening to this, that maybe I've inspired them to carry on the torch. Not that I'm finished, because I'm not. Watch out, there'll be more, just like you. It's, as I've always said, and I've said a few times in this interview, it's like eating one potato chip, and you can't stop. You can't stop, and it's nice.
So true. Larry Garrison, thank you so much. And check out the books, Aruba, The Tragic Untold Story of Natalie Holloway, and Corruption in Paradise, Breaking into Acting for Dummies, and The NewsBreaker. That's Larry Garrison, The NewsBreaker. A behind-the-scenes look at the news media and never-before-told details about some of the decade's biggest stories. Larry, thank you so much. Anything you ever want to promote, give me a call. I'll put you right on the air.
Thank you, and I'm there for you also.
Thank you.
Any way I can help.
Thank you so much. Larry Garrison.
Care,
Good night.